From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
And good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey. The time right now is 4:27 here. It's Tuesday morning. We do have several stories to talk about before we get into our show today, starting with a big one here in the city of Indianapolis. Last night there was a city-county council meeting, and we previewed this for you a little bit yesterday, but this is what happened. There's a proposal to increase some community oversight for the policing and their general orders process. So right now there are 3 civilians involved in that process, and they have ties to IMPD, like being appointed by the chief or being selected by the Fraternal Order of Police. That's the police union. So now these council members are recommending that we add 4 civilians without police ties to the board for more oversight. We'll have more on that story, and our Kelsey Anderson will have reaction as well coming up here on Good Morning Indiana. Let's take a turn right now to the hospital preparedness when it comes to COVID-19. This is an important thing to look at when it comes to keeping our state open. It's not always about the number of cases, but about our hospital preparedness and how many beds we have available if we need them. So we are in good shape right now. We have 41.6% of our ICU beds are still available. About 10% of those beds are being used by COVID-19 patients. The other beds are used by non-COVID-19 patients. We also have 81% of the ventilators in the state of Indiana still available. Those are open for use. So that's just a snapshot of the hospital preparedness as we continue on in this global pandemic. Let's take a turn right now, though, to our forecast. Todd Clausen is standing by with me in studio this morning. And Todd, we were just talking about it last night. Gorgeous. I went on a walk around the neighborhood as the sun was setting, and you really couldn't ask for better weather.
Yeah, you know, it was absolutely beautiful throughout the entire day. I know I've been getting a lot of questions about the haze in the air, and that's due to the smoke from the wildfires out west drifting here through central Indiana. Had it not been for that smoke, it would be a bright blue sky, not only yesterday, but today. But you're right, Lauren, the temperatures were absolutely picture perfect. We're in the 50s and 60s here this morning, 59 in Indy, 52 in Logansport. I shut my air conditioner off and just opened the windows last night and was perfectly comfortable. As we go throughout the day today, it's basically the same deal, up to 78 degrees, mostly sunny skies, comfortable, but we'll maintain that hazy look to the sky due to the smoke and the elevated levels of the atmosphere. So it's not low enough to cause respiratory issues here across central Indiana, which is good news. We'll look ahead to your extended forecast coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Todd, thank you for that update. We do want to talk a little bit more about how you can help the iconic and historic Hoosier Gym, and it's by watching Hoosiers at Tibbs Drive-In. We're going to break down what this is all about here coming up on Good Morning Indiana, plus news, weather, and traffic to start your Tuesday.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
A major change could be coming to how IMPD operates. Now at 4:30, details on the proposal aimed at improving relations between police and the community. Plus, a Greenfield officer jumps into action when he sees a fiery crash. This morning, see the harrowing video from his perspective. And preserving an Indiana landmark, we're going to tell you how you can help save the iconic Hoosiers Gym. But before we get to those top stories today, we want to thank you for joining our team here on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey, and Todd Clausen is joining me in studio this morning. As I walked in, Todd, it's really comfortable out there right now. Pretty cool out there, so you may need just that light jacket this morning.
You know, if you think this is cool, just wait till you see my 7-day planning forecast here, Lauren. We're going to get a big push of some really chilly air by the end of the week. This morning, though, as you mentioned, pretty comfortable as you walk out the door. 59 degrees in Indianapolis. The view from IMS back towards downtown, and you can see the city skyline looking very pretty here on this Tuesday morning, as it always does, but visibility not an issue here. 52 in Muncie, 54 in Peru. Some of these pockets where you see blue on the map, that's where temperatures are in the 40s. So it's definitely a cool start to our day across the area, but we're going to finish nice and comfortable with lots of sunshine throughout the day today. Skies are clear anywhere you go across the Midwest. There's high pressure firmly in control. No threat of rain in the forecast for the day today. So it's a sun-filled day for us. Once again, a little haze. Look to the sky due to the smoke coming in from the wildfires off to the west. We're in the 50s through 9 a.m. We're in the 60s through the noon hour. And then those temperatures, Lauren, should bounce up into the low 70s here as we get into the afternoon.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic as you are heading out on the roads this Tuesday morning. Here's our INDOT traffic camera at I-65, a view here near 21st Street. Now, we told you about this yesterday, a new ramp restriction in place for some road construction. This is the on-ramp from 21st Street, hopping onto southbound I-65. That's going to be closed through Saturday, September 26th for that road construction, so avoid that spot if you can this morning. We'll continue to keep our eyes on this and any other issues that might slow you down this morning, and of course, we'll keep you updated. Well, new this morning, a man has died following a shooting on the city's northeast side. Metro Police tell us that they got a call about a person shot at 42nd and Post Road around 11:45 last night. They believe the victim was driven there from a nearby apartment complex. He died on the way to the hospital. Police say that a crowd gathered at the scene for a short time, and then at this hour, officers have not released any information yet on a suspect. Some major changes could be coming to IMPD. The City County Council wants to give the community more say in how the department conducts its business. Right now, the council is considering a proposal that would create more civilian oversight in the department's general orders process. Their job would be to oversee policies and procedures related to use of force, arrests, investigations, and other police actions. Currently, the board consists of 3 civilians. They're chosen by the police chief and the police union. Council members Keith Potts and Krista Carlino want the board to include 4 civilians to be chosen by the mayor and the council.
Purpose is to make sure that there are voices of the public at the table, and that those voices are not just strictly those of law enforcement, but also your run-of-the-mill everyday person, and also those who are highly interested in the welfare of the citizens, from whether it be psychological perspectives or physical safety, mental health, addiction, and so on.
Taking every step that we can to make sure that we're not going to make the jobs of our police officers harder. If anything, of course, we want to make them easier. So we worked with our law enforcement partners as well, just to make sure that we weren't going to be adding any additional layers of bureaucracy or red tape, so that they can continue to keep our community safe while our community has more of a voice in the policies.
15 council members are co-sponsoring this proposal. The Public Safety and Criminal Justice Committee plans to hold a meeting to give the proposal a full hearing. This morning, a Greenfield police officer is being credited with saving a woman's life after he pulled her out of a burning vehicle. It was all caught on the officer's body camera. Take a look.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Body,
hey,
we're
ma'am,
down.
I'm pulling you out. Hey, watch this ankle. It's half and half. Come on, come on. Is there another one? No. Looks like it was just her. I didn't see anybody else.
Wow, well, Greenfield police say that the officer, Blake Kroll, pulled up to the scene and he noticed a vehicle flipped upside down and on fire. So he quickly ran up and found this woman trapped inside. Footage from Kroll's body-worn camera shows him pulling that injured woman to safety through a side window just before parts of that engine began exploding. Kroll was then joined by other officers who helped to carry that woman to safety. Thankful he was there at the right time. Well, now I want to go to the latest on the coronavirus pandemic and its continued impact here on Hoosier Lives. 755 new cases of the virus have been reported to the state health officials. That brings the total number of positive COVID-19 cases in Indiana to 106,540. State health officials also report 2 additional deaths. Since the pandemic began, 3,215 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19. 1,247,293 people in Indiana have been tested for the coronavirus so far. 8.5% of those have tested positive. And the state remains in good shape when it comes to hospital preparedness. 41.6% of Indiana's ICU beds are still available. COVID-19 patients are using about 10% of those. Non-COVID-19 patients are using 48% of the beds. Nearly 81% of the state's ventilators are still available as of today. Some promising news now from Eli Lilly. The company says one of its drugs has the potential to be a treatment for hospitalized COVID-19 patients. Lilly has been studying something called baricitinib. It's part of a trial sponsored by the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. The drug is an anti-inflammatory that commonly treats rheumatoid arthritis. Studies show that the drug, combined with Gilead Sciences' remdesivir, shortened a person's hospital stay by 1 day. Remdesivir was granted an emergency use authorization back in May after data showed that it helped to shorten hospital recovery time by 31%. Lilly plans to discuss a potential emergency use authorization for the drug with the FDA. Well, now WRTV is teaming up with the Indiana Black Expo to host a virtual Hiring Hoosiers Employment Opportunity Fair. It's next Tuesday, September 22nd, starting at noon. Many companies will take part, including FedEx, First Merchants Bank, Indianapolis Airport Authority, Lowe's, and many more. For more information, go to indianablackexpo.com. Hobby Lobby is raising its minimum wage to $17 an hour. The arts and crafts store made this announcement on Monday. The changes are for full-time employees and they go into effect on October 1st. The new rate is more than double the federal minimum wage, which is currently at $7.25 an hour. According to Hobby Lobby's website, it was one of the first retailers to establish a nationwide minimum hourly wage that's, quote, well above the federal minimum wage. The chain also says it's raised wages 10 years over the last 11 years. And back in 2014, it raised its full-time minimum wage to $15 an hour. The retailer has several open positions right now across central Indiana. Several Indiana colleges and universities are high on U.S. News and World Report's 2021 Best College Rankings list. Butler, the Bulldogs there, named Best University in the Midwest for the third straight year. It also topped the list of most innovative schools. In national rankings, the University of Notre Dame finished highest of all Indiana schools. It was named 19th Best University in the country and the 26th Best Value in the country. Purdue tied for 17th Best Public School in the nation. IU placed 31st. Rose-Hulman Institute of Technology was named #1 overall for engineering colleges focused on bachelor's and master's level education. Time right now is 4:38. You can see an iconic movie while also helping to preserve an Indiana landmark. The Indiana Broadcasters Association is hosting a screening of the movie Hoosiers at Tibbs Drive-In Theater. 100% of the ticket sales will go to support Knightstown, Indiana's Hoosier Gym. COVID-19 has hit the gym hard and it needs help to get through this pandemic. The screening is set for Thursday at 8:30 p.m. It costs $11 per person. We have a link for you to buy the tickets. Just click on this story on WRTV.com. Hundreds of healthcare workers are on strike now in Illinois. Just after the break, what they're demanding from their employer. And Hurricane Sally is rapidly intensifying as it barrels towards the Gulf Coast. We'll have the very latest on the storm's path coming up next. Todd.
And you can see Sally there just lingering off the Alabama-Mississippi coast. And as Lauren mentioned, it's gaining some strength. It shouldn't really impact our weather all that much going forward. We have a nice stretch of weather. It's going to take you through much of this week. We'll talk all about it coming up in your WRTV Storm Team forecast. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.
Welcome back. This morning, hundreds of nurses and healthcare workers in Illinois are on strike. More than 800 nurses walked off the job at the University of Illinois Hospital over the weekend. The Illinois Nurses Association Union is demanding a contract that includes better staffing levels, higher pay, and more personal protective equipment. On Monday, the nurses were joined by the SEIU Local 73, the union that represents technical, clerical, and maintenance healthcare workers. They were also asking for more protection from COVID-19 and better pay. In a statement, the CEO of University of Illinois Hospital said he, quote, values and respects these nurses' work, but he went on to say that staffing ratios result in longer emergency department wait times, increased ambulance diversion hours, reduced patient services, and higher operating costs, end quote. It is 4:43. The police chief of Rochester, New York, is out of a job over the handling of the death of Daniel Prude. The 41-year-old died in police custody after his family called for help back in March. Video released released by Prude's family showed the officers using a mesh hood and pinning him to the pavement. The footage also raised questions about a possible cover-up and sparked protests across the country. On Monday, Rochester Mayor Lovely Warren fired Chief LaRon Singletary. Singletary announced plans to retire at the end of the month. Warren said that she made the decision to terminate Singletary and suspend 2 city officials after reading an internal review. She also called on the U.S. Attorney General's office to investigate whether Prude's civil rights were violated. At 4:44, the family of George Floyd has officially launched a foundation in his honor. The George Floyd Memorial Foundation donated $5,000 to the Salvation Army Harbor Light Center in Minneapolis. The location is where George worked for about a year and a half, helping and protecting the homeless. His family said it was only fitting that the organization received the first donation. They said they also plan to carry on.
This is where George loved to be. He loved helping the community, and I want them to be able to keep it going.
Well, Floyd's family was also joined by the families of Jamar Clark and Philando Castile. Both men were also killed by police in Minneapolis. Their families say they plan to continue to give back to the community and carry on the legacies of their loved ones. Out to California now, where the Butte County officials say that at least 15 people have died in wildfires burning in that area. The North Complex fire erupted back in August from a lightning strike, and it's now torched more than 264,000 acres stretching across 3 counties. As of this morning, the fire is 39% contained. Hundreds of structures there have been destroyed or damaged. Thousands more are being threatened. CAL FIRE says temperatures are expected to increase in the coming days, but the humidity is expected to stay high. All eyes are on the Gulf Coast this morning as Hurricane Sally intensifies. It is expected to make landfall today. Chris James is on the ground in Mississippi with the very latest.
It's been a relatively quiet night here at the beach. We've been out here for the past 9 hours or so, and it hasn't even rained very much. A far cry from what we're going to be seeing tomorrow and on Wednesday as Sally slowly makes its way towards making landfall here along the Gulf Coast. And in Gulfport tonight, there are shelters that are already open as people try to seek safety ahead of the storm that has the potential to bring so much damage.
Remains a very slow-moving storm. And the center is irregular, and I think that causes some problems with respect to accurately forecasting it.
A slow-moving disaster is barreling towards the Gulf Coast. Hurricane Sally is rapidly gaining strength. The storm's winds intensifying by 40 miles per hour in just the last 12 hours. Forecasters predicting it could strike land, packing winds in excess of 111 miles per hour.
Flooding is going to be a big concern.
Sally's fury is already beginning to be felt along the Gulf Coast.
And the storm surge is already starting to occur. So as we're seeing along the Gulf Coast right now, and it's still out there. So we've got more to go with this.
Boards are up on windows and people are fleeing their homes.
I'm very concerned about how high the water is going to be. They're saying, 7 to 11 feet.
President Trump has already pre-approved federal disaster aid for Mississippi and Louisiana. Now Florida is issuing a state of emergency in 2 counties.
We do, though, see a potential for the storm to really slow down and stall out, and that could dump up to 25 inches of rain in those northwest Florida counties.
Now officials here are most concerned about the storm sitting over this region for an extended period of time, which would mean long-lasting winds, heavy flooding, and the potential for severe and potentially deadly storm surge. And it's been an unprecedented hurricane season already, as some people in this region are still digging out from Hurricane Laura, which was just 3 weeks ago. Reporting in Gulfport, Mississippi, I'm Chris James.
All right, here in central Indiana, we've been enjoying quiet weather all across the area. Yesterday, though, a lot of people messaged me asking why there's so much haze out there. You said it was going to be mostly sunny. It looks cloudy. Well, it was mostly sunny, but that haze, part of the smoke from the forest fires out west with the jet stream changing over the course of the weekend. It's bringing some of that here elevated in the atmosphere. And so even though it's mostly sunny, it looks kind of hazy out there. And it's the same deal once again today. day. If we didn't have that smoke coming through, it would be that bright blue sky with lack of cloud cover and lack of humidity around. And then we'll look forward to some very cool mornings ahead. We're talking about temperatures eventually by the end of the week in the 40s, maybe 10 degrees cooler than what we have out there this morning. 59 in Indy, 53 in Kokomo, 52 is the current temperature as you make your way into the Muncie area. Temperatures will continue to probably go down another couple degrees here this morning, eventually getting down into the mid-50s. And then once the sun comes up, we'll see them moderate very quickly all across the area. As you can see, we have completely clear skies anywhere you go across central Indiana at this hour. And we expand out, and there's really nothing going on across much of the Midwest. So we are enjoying a nice quiet weather pattern with high pressure that's in control. Eventually, as high pressure drifts off towards the east as we work our way into the day tomorrow, the winds will turn a little more southerly. So the one change we do have in the forecast for tomorrow is probably a little more humidity, and temperatures are going to be a couple degrees warmer as well. 79 today in Lafayette, 76 your high temperature in Frankfort as well as Muncie. Temperatures in central portions of the state range from 75 in Noblesville to 78 in Shelbyville, and then high temperatures will be right around 80 degrees as we work our way into Bloomington as well as the Columbus area. This evening, temperatures will be in the 70s, falling into the 60s with clear skies. A nice quiet night for us, and then overnight temperatures tomorrow morning very similar to what we have out there currently in this morning. 53 degrees in the city, cooler in the outlying areas. And then for the day tomorrow, we're looking at partly cloudy skies. I mentioned the change with the temperatures being a little bit warmer tomorrow, back up to about 81 to 82 degrees. With the warmth and the humidity will come a little more in the way of cloud cover, partly cloudy skies. And at first, it looked like it was hopeful for a little bit of rain in this forecast as we work our way into Wednesday and Thursday. And I still will keep a spot shower in the forecast on Thursday, but it's nothing to get excited about. We need some rainfall across the area. We're just simply not going to get much of moisture from Sally whatsoever. Here's your 7-day planning forecast, and I mentioned the temperatures. Look at them here. Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night, and even into Monday morning, we're going into the 40s all across the area with high temperatures in the 70s. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now as you're heading out on the roads. Here's a live look from our INDOT traffic camera up on the north side. No problems here. This is I-465 near Michigan Road, where traffic's traveling up to speed both eastbound and westbound. We're going to keep our eyes on your roads throughout the Tuesday morning commute, let you know if there are any areas you need to avoid. So wear a mask, don't touch, and social distance. These are the current social norms, right? And they're forcing many companies to come up with new ways to reach customers. That's why White Castle has redesigned its packaging to fit these new norms. Dubbed the Crave Clutch, the packaging has 20 sliders and 4 small fries. It has a cardboard handle here with a faux leather stitching on the handle there, as you can see. And then we also can say it's easier for you to hold, so if you're going to go to a socially distant gathering, it makes it easier for that. The vice president of the company says they are working on packaging for a while, and they thought it was the best time to unveil it. We do want to talk now about jalapeno, and when you're thinking about a new glass of wine, you don't think tacos. You definitely don't think Taco Bell, right? But it was the first fast food chain that wants to change that. So check out this latest creation. It's jalapeno NOIR. The wine doesn't actually taste like jalapenos. It's made by a vineyard in Ontario, and Taco Bell says it has notes of wild strawberry, cherry, and beetroot. It's perfect to pair with the toasted cheesy chalupa. But if you're wanting a little tasting, you're going to have to run to the border, the other border, that is. The wine is only available for a limited time in Canada or the Canadian website for $19. Coming up here on Good Morning Indiana, warnings from the Better Business Bureau about yard signs popping up around Indy, claiming to have priceless items up for auction. At 5 o'clock, we're getting answers about if you can trust them. It's 4:52. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So patients at Riley Children's Hospital got some very special visitors on Monday. The Colts sent 3 players to visit the hematology oncology floor, but it wasn't like a visit like any other. The visitor restrictions limit who can visit the patients during the pandemic. So to get around that, the Colts deployed Omni robots with players standing by the Colts complex. Jonathan Taylor, Julian Blackman, and Michael Pittman Jr. visited with patients, spreading joy and laughs. Visiting virtually didn't stop Pittman from shooting hoops or stop Allie from smiling ear to ear as she chatted with Taylor. That's a way to get creative there, Todd. I love that story. Yes. All right, let's talk about the forecast right now. Some good news in the weather department.
Yeah, I mean, you see lots of sunshine straight across the board here for the next 7 days. We could use some rainfall, to be honest with you. I was hoping to get a little bit in here for some of you Wednesday into Thursday to time it out midweek and then have the weekend looking as nice as it's going to be. But with the exceptions of a few showers on Thursday, a dry forecast, 78 today, 82 tomorrow's the warmest day. But then we do cool it off heading into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with highs around 70. And look at those low temperatures over the weekend going all the way down into the 40s. The time now is 4:57. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Stay with us. We're back in just a couple minutes.